Crouch's second reason is that
false sense of security. Shark nets do not stop sharks.
well, this is partly true. The nets do not enclose a beach. They operate like a trap across a small part of the beach that will kill any shark that happens to swim through it. Crouch's implication, though, that they don't stop sharks killing people is seemingly disproven by statistics. Shark nets were introduced to Sydney beaches in 1937. Since then, they've been extended to the Central Coast, Newcastle and Wollongong. There has been only one fatal attack at a protected beach in New South Wales since then, and 40 at unprotected ones. Similarly, in Queensland, there have been only 2 fatalities at protected beaches since nets and lethal drum lines were installed in 1962. The total number of fatal attacks in Queensland since then, however, is 24, 3 of them in 2020 alone. Great whites were protected in all Australian waters in 1999, and since then a club of researchers has emerged to dominate the sector and dictate what the public and politicians should think. As a surfer and a journalist, I've had a special interest in this topic for 7 years now and tried many times to interview these researchers, usually with no success. Those researchers are, of course, welcome on this show anytime to explain why it seems that they place higher value on a shark's life than a human's. There's only one aspect of shark behaviour that fails to spark the curiosity of these researchers. That is, why do sharks seem to avoid beaches where traditional nets and drum lines are in place? These same people have, since protection of sharks became normalised, been mining a very lucrative vein of taxpayer-funded research and management programs. Their favourite method these days is to catch sharks, tag them and let them go. They then install devices at popular beaches that alert people in real time should a tag be detected. The tags are also meant to detect patterns in the shark's movements, hopefully to prevent further attacks, although a report by the West Australian Government conceded in 2016, after some of the most extensive research into tag sharks in history, that the movements of great whites were, quote, highly variable and not consistent, unquote. Regardless, this management strategy enables people like Crouch to blame the victim in the event of an attack. As Crouch says,
it is their world, not ours. They said sharks do not walk up on the beach and bite people. Everybody on the Central Coast know that they take a risk when they go out in the oceans.
This deference to nature doesn't apply on land. Crouch's tenure as the local representative would be over pretty quickly if he announced a plan to start tagging the lethal snakes that have lived in the electorate for millennia and blaming anybody bitten by one for inhabiting, quote, their world. I'll be showing you another example of the dead-set battiness of the sustainability religion from none other than the third most powerful politician in the United States later in the show. Crouch's reminder that sharks still present a threat is not just a warning to his constituents. It is also an acknowledgement to sustainability zealots that marine animals are more important than humans who dare to enter the ocean. Whether this will translate into votes for Crouch at the state election in March might depend on whether any constituents are victims of otherwise preventable shark attacks this summer.